Yo, what's going on, man? Welcome to November 1st, 2024, man. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show. We got a big slate for today. We'll go through 4 games that I want to talk to you guys about. Still got a little bit of work I need to do, but let's jump into it, man. It's Friday, first of the month. Let's get paid on a Friday on the first of the month, man. We'll go through a couple of the comments. Yesterday, I did give out, I gave out 3 plays. I made 4. Forgot to send the +4 the Rockets play to the members, but it is what it is. I'm only my updates are always, my recaps are always what I send to the members. But I talked about it in Discord, talked about it yesterday on the show. I had 4 plays on the short list yesterday morning. They went 3-1. So if you took the Rockets, you cashed. If you took the Rockets under, you cashed. The Utah team total, I just felt like didn't move enough without Lauri Markkanen being ruled out. That was the probably easiest one that I had so far this year. I think the Jazz scored 35 points in the second half. The Bucks are on the shelf. I don't think I'm betting on the Bucks probably for the rest of the season, at least until they make like a drastic move. They got to send Doc Rivers and ham sandwich somewhere else before I bet on them. And then the Clippers and the Suns, I just thought the Suns would play a little bit of defense. They absolutely did not. They let the Clippers do whatever they wanted in the first half and had to use their offense to win the game. So that game goes over the total. Was a Clippers spot. They did end up winning and covering based on a strong second half. So we'll go through a couple of the comments real quick and jump into the slate. What up, Glowy says a huge day today. Maurice says the Grizzlies smacked the Bucks in the mouth yesterday. They absolutely did. What up, Mitchell? He says, let's make it a good weekend. He cashed a live bet on the Rockets Spurs under 204.5. Even with the super low total, still got it. What's up, Joe? I saw you in the Discord this morning. Didn't get a chance to look at the messages, but they did pop up. What's up, Dano? Top MF in here says good morning. He said good opportunities to cash for these Friday games. What's up, Aaron? He says thanks for the expertise. I really appreciate your insight on these games. Let's get some money. Yeah, absolutely appreciate that, Aaron. What's up, Prolific? In here rocking with me as always. Huday, good morning to you, bro. What's up, Jay Aries? Peasy, Whipped. My guy Mark in here. King Predictions in here. The gang is together, man. Let's talk about the games. What's up, G421? Kevin says he finally made a live show. Thanks for everything you do, Chris. Awesome. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. Just trying to cash for myself and everybody else. Let's talk it out. See what we got for the day. Do want to talk about Jackson. Jackson was on Houston yesterday too. I looked at it a little bit after I did the show, and Jackson liked Houston plus the points yesterday as well. Jackson is, I've been talking about this for, I think it's been, today makes a week, but I've been talking about Jackson for about a week. It's the first of its kind AI large language model optimized for sports betting, and for fantasy. You can just type whatever it is that you want to look up. You want an in-depth analysis of the game. You want the top player props on the board for the game. You got questions about pace, and it's for all sports. It's not just basketball, not just football, but hockey, soccer, baseball, which just ended. It's a 50% promo code in the description of the video for people that are new and haven't had a chance to check out Jackson. It's also continually being optimized and updated, so it's getting faster. It's getting more insight. Like it's kind of crazy what Jackson is going to be. I got a sneak peek of a video that I'm gonna share probably a little bit later in the Discord with just the improvements that continue to happen. So I know a lot of people have been checking it out. Definitely continue to check it out if you have not, and let me know what you're thinking about Jackson as well. Pine Sports is pretty good. I like Pine a lot. I love Jackson. Absolutely love it. Just gives me betting angles that I like. So never cross your fingers again. Bet unfair is what Jackson says. Let's jump into the games for the day. First one I want to talk about is this Boston Celtics game against the Charlotte Hornets. Game will be played in Charlotte tonight. Let me get to my notes real quick. So injury report, first and foremost, you do get a potential Brandon Miller spot. So I will say this. I am expecting, if Brandon Miller plays, I am expecting this line to come down. So if you want Boston, I would not take him right now. I would actually wait and take him later. You still don't have Mark Williams. He has not played a game this season. And Sam Hauser, I think, is going to play. He is listed as probable for this game. And, of course, no Porzingis. So about the same injury report, but I do think Brandon Miller potentially comes back today. I think it was a groin injury that he was dealing with. That kind of hobbled him. It was the glute injury. I knew it started with a G. It was a glute injury. So for Boston, coming off the overtime loss to the Indiana Pacers the other day, doesn't set up for too great of a spot here. But you do got a Charlotte, and on the opposite side, Charlotte's coming off a win. Third straight home game for them. This is the beginning of a little mini back-to-back series. Both of these teams do play again tomorrow too at that. So it's kind of like the Golden State Warriors and the Indian what's the team called? The Pelicans the other day. So this is the first one of the two. Boston has actually won 8 of the last 10, and they've covered 7 of the last 10 spreads. One thing I wanted to look at, because I feel like it is a little bit of a Boston bounce back spot. I wanted to look at the team total here for the Boston Celtics. Well, specifically not for the Boston Celtics, because the Celtics should win this game with their defense. I'm not sure if they're going to need 122 points in this game or not. But the Charlotte Hornets team total, you can get a 111.5. I think the Charlotte Hornets go under 111.5. If I look at the Charlotte offense, this was something that I was looking into right before I did the show. Just kind of popped up. Charlotte offensively has been pretty good. They're fourth in point score per 100 possessions, about 119. But they turn the ball over and they're pretty inefficient. Also, a lot of their makes have come from the three-point line. They've given up. They're not a team that attacks the rim at all. They're 25th in rim accuracy, 18th in frequency, 19th in point paint accuracy. And they don't shoot a lot of mid-range jump shots, 24th in that department as well. When you look at their threes, though, they're 6th in overall three-point frequency, 8th in above the break three frequency, a lot of pull-ups from LaMelo Ball, Grant Williams, all of those guards in general. The Celtics three-point defense has actually been pretty good, though. They're 5th in opponent three-point accuracy, 32.7%. The way that you beat the Celtics is you attack the rim. Right, we saw it last game with the Indiana Pacers. Like, you get downhill, you need people that can get to the bucket. And outside of LaMelo Ball, like, I don't think that I don't think the Charlotte team is going to be able to score the ball much. They are pretty good offensive rebounding team. They don't get out and run with pace at all. They're actually 30th in offensive transition frequency. And Boston does a really good job. Like, I think Boston defense bounces back in this spot. The 13th opponent point score per 100 possessions. They forced the 10th most turnovers. They're giving up the 10th fewest offensive rebounds as well. And I think the Pacers got their attention last game. So initially, I thought about Boston team total overs 121.5, but with Boston coming off the overtime game, I kind of think that Charlotte's going to continue to struggle I think Charlotte will struggle offensively in this game. The other part is, though, Charlotte's defense has been pretty bad. They rank bottom 10 in all of the important categories: opponent point score per 100 possessions, opponent effective field goal percentage, opponent turnover percentage, opponent offensive rebounding, and they're fouling at a really high rate. So I kind of wanted to get there with Boston Celtics team total over, but then I thought Charlotte team total under. I may just wait till Brandon Miller gets rolled in and take Boston on the spread. I do think that they can win this game by double digits. Charlotte they don't impress me at all defensively. And I had Charlotte in that last game against Toronto. They gave up 130 points to Toronto. So those are my thoughts on this game. Did not bet any player props. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. What up to my guy Justin in the chat? DJ Prop says, good morning, Chris. Took some time off, but I'm back looking to target players who could be motivated for the full season reward this year. Love Ant to shoot well against Denver on ESPN tonight. We'll talk about that game. I actually got a little bit of more work to do on that game, but it is an angle that I like in that game for sure. Yeah, you want contract players in contract years, DJ Prop. That's Brandon Ingram. That's Jimmy Butler. That's who else is in a contract year? Especially when they're playing against poor defenses or they're down a superstar. So if no Bam, you definitely want Jimmy in that spot. If Zion goes down, you want Brandon Ingram in that spot. Maybe even want Brandon Ingram tonight against the Indiana Pacers, who love to run teams off the three-point line. Pretty sure their mid-range defense is not as good as their three-point defense. So, yeah, you just kind of made me think with that, bro. I appreciate you saying that. What's up, prestigious prodigy? Sam says, how do I get in the Discord? Just shoot me a DM on Twitter at ChrisBeCappinn 2Ps 2Ns, or email me at ChrisBeCappinn 2Ps 2Ns, Sam. And I've been sharing the link with people. The Discord actually growing. What's up, Marquise? Dropping dimes like the Celtics team total over as well. 5-star, what's going on, bro? Appreciate you tapping in. JM says Boston first half, minus 255, building a 2-leg parlay. Ooh, okay. Not something that I do, but okay. Kenneth says, yo, let's get it. Maurice says Celtics and under, it smells like. Yeah, I think the under is a pretty good look. Keep in mind, like I said, both of the teams play tomorrow against each other. I think that game will be in Charlotte too. Brian says, good morning, Chris. Good night last night. Thanks for the cap. Boston first quarter, he likes in this one. Okay. Yeah, I think you wait until Brandon Miller gets rolled in on the spread. And then I do think Boston wins this game by double digits, but more so I think Charlotte doesn't get to 112 points. That would be my best play in this game. Charlotte team total under 111.5 is available on BetMGM, Bet365 right now. I think it's 15 cents a juice. Minus 115 for Charlotte team total pretty much under 112. Charlotte team total under 112. All right, let's keep going. Next game up, we got Pacers and the Pelicans. So game will be played in New Orleans. You got a New Orleans. Hold up, let's go to injury report first and foremost. You got, because there's a lot of injuries in this game, and that's why the line is moved. This line opened with the Pacers laying 2.5. You actually got it written in my notes. 2.5, and the money's come in on the Pacers in this spot. The Pelicans look like absolute trash. This total opened 236.5. It's come all the way down to 232. So a lot of money coming in on the under here. Pacers have Miles Turner listed as questionable. He did not play in the game against the he did not play in that game against the Boston Celtics due to a left ankle sprain. Then you also got Andrew Nembhard listed as questionable as well versus the Pelicans, and it's a knee injury for Andrew Nembhard. On the opposite side, the Pelicans still going to be down. They got a CVS receipt list of players that they're going to be down. So no CJ McCollum, no DeJounte Murray, of course, no Trey Murphy. Herb Jones is out. Daniel Tice is also listed as game time decision. And now Jordan Hawkins, who was, kind of came in and was, started in that last game on Wednesday versus the Warriors, he's also listed as questionable due to low back spasms. Back spasms, something you typically don't play with. So I do agree with the money coming in on the Pacers here. You kind of want Miles Turner in, but I mean the Pelicans don't have a ton of depth at the center position. So I still think the Pacers will be able to score in this spot. It's not the greatest spot for the Pacers. This is a 4th game in 6 nights, 5th and 8 nights for the Pacers. They are coming off an overtime game, and they won that game against the Boston Celtics. And for the Pelicans, first game home off a 3-game road trip where they didn't cover one spread. They went just 1-3 straight up, 0-4 against the number against the Portland Trail Blazers twice, and the Golden State Warriors lost both of those games outright. The first one as a favorite, the second one as a dog. So yeah, the money on the under, I think, is the best number in this spot. I know that the Pacers offense is, it looked a lot better against Boston. I know that the Pelicans have not been able to score. Real quick, I just want to share something. I didn't write this down. I want to share something with you guys real quick. Just looking at this Pacers offense, because that's what's broken in my opinion. And if you're going to still be down all those players, I'm not sure how you're going to be able to score the basketball. The Pelicans right now are averaging 113.7 points a game right now. Hold on, I'm sorry. No, they're not. That's way too high. This is last year. They're averaging 105 points per game right now this season. 105 points for the Pelicans. They got 89 against the Warriors, 106 against the Warriors, 103 against the Blazers, 105 against the Blazers. And on opening night, they did score 123. But I already told you guys the long list of players is going to be out. So even with this total coming down, I feel like it's not down enough. If the Pacers offense started to, run out of gas just a tad bit, being that it's a 4th game in 6 nights and they're coming off of overtime, 5th game in 8 nights, it would not surprise me a lot at all. I agree with the money coming in on the under here. I would play under 232, even with the total coming down. I do anticipate this to continue to come down. 236 is a tad bit too high with the way that the Pelicans offense has looked recently. That would be my favorite play in this game. Pacers and Pelicans under 232. I think it's a 232.5 out there as well. That's what I'm liking in this one. Also probably lean towards the Pacers, but I'm not sure if I want to see what happens with the injury report there. Also, from a trend perspective, I talked about this yesterday. It was something that actually cashed yesterday. But these teams, like historically, if you're coming off a loss, if you're coming off back-to-back losses, let me see if I can just run this real quick. Never mind. I can't. I'm not going to be able to find it. I don't want to take too much time on the game, but there's a strong trend that says games go under when teams are coming off back-to-back losses, and then they're a home dog. But yeah, it's definitely Pacers and nothing. I do like the under a little bit more than anything else here. What are y'all saying about this one, if anything at all? Halliburton catches fire this game, 20 plus points. I can see that. So if we look at just real quick before we move on to the next one, if we match these two teams up on the court, and I'm looking at Indiana's offense versus the Pelicans defense. I can find it. All right, here we go. The Pelicans are 14th defensively, so about middle of the pack, allowing a ton of offensive rebounds, giving up the 7th most. They are turning teams over, 7th most turnovers, but their offense, like I said, this Pelicans offense is averaging 105.9 points per 100 possessions, which is the 3rd fewest in the NBA. They're also bottom 6th in effective field goal percentage, only shooting 51%. And the Indiana Pacers don't look now, but their defense has actually been a little bit better recently. Also, the Pacers, where they struggle at on defense is they give up a ton of offensive rebounds, 29th. But I mean, who's out there going to grab those rebounds for the Pelicans? In my opinion, I don't see a lot of people. Also, the Pacers are fouling a lot, 4th highest rate. Pelicans also not shooting a ton of free throws. They're not getting to the free throw line. So specifically, it's like, in my opinion, is New Orleans defense going to be able to slow down this Indiana Pacers? Is the Indiana Pacers defense going to be able to slow down this Pelicans offense? And I would say yes. Pelicans are shooting a lot of shots from the long mid-range and just from mid-range in general, but that's a shot zone that the Pacers have actually done pretty well with. For whatever reason, the Pelicans can't make a ton of threes right now. They really struggle to shoot the 3-point shot, which is also another reason why I like the under. They're actually 27th in frequency, so they're shooting the 4th fewest threes right now, and 20th in accuracy right now, only shooting less than 35%. I like under. Maurice says Pacers are under as well. No Bucks, no Pels for a bit. I'm with you, Mark, for sure. Whip says staying off of this one. Both of these teams are shaky. I have not looked, Mark, but I will check it out. I will check out the under to see if Jackson likes the under. Let's see. Matter of fact, I'll do it right now and then I'll come back to it. Pretty sure Jackson gonna like the under. All right, we'll see what that says. I'll come back to that, Mark, as long as I can remember. What's up, Can't Stop? Sean says he's taking the Bulls plus 106 on the money line. Zach LaVine is listed as questionable. I don't know if you paid attention to that. I didn't. That's not a game I'm probably going to touch. Perv says, did you cover Boston game? I already did. Only one I took. DC Sean says you like the under PA but ERST game? I don't even know what that means. In the under in Charlotte game? Appreciate the tip here. Appreciate you, bro. And then King Prediction says Pacers spot as well. All right, let's see. So as far as the total goes, real quick, Mark, before we move on to the next game, I'll read you guys what it says about this one, about the total in this game. It says Indiana Pacers are averaging 115.4 points per game, which is 13th in the NBA, while allowing 120 points per game, 26 in the NBA. They play at a fast pace, ranking 12th in the league in pace, which often leads to high-scoring games. In fact, the Pacers have seen 3 straight games go over the total. New Orleans, on the other hand, are struggling offensively, averaging just 105.2 points per game, 28th in the NBA. However, they have scored 123 points in their only home game this season, which suggests they perform better offensively at home. Defensively, they're allowing 113.4 points per game, 16th in the NBA. Sounds like they like the over, but let's keep going. Pacers have been involved in high-scoring games with 4 consecutive opponents scoring more than 115 points against them. The defense has been porous, especially in the paint, which could be a factor tonight. The Pelicans are on a 3-game losing streak, and their offense has struggled on the road. However, they return home where they've been more efficient offensively. They've also allowed 113 points per game on the road, which is middle of the pack. Injuries. The Pelicans are missing key players like DeJounte Murray, Trey Murphy, and Herb Jones, which also impacts their defense and overall performance. CJ McCollum and Daniel Tice are also listed as questionable, which could further weaken their lineup. The Pacers are dealing with injuries to Miles Turner and Andrew Nembhard, both of whom are questionable. James Wiseman is out, which could hurt their interior defense. Betting insight. The over has hit three of Pacers' 5 games this season, and they tend to play high-scoring games due to their fast pace and defensive struggles. The Pelicans have seen the over hit 3 of their 5 games as well, and they've been more efficient offensively at home. Conclusion. Given the Pacers' fast pace, poor defense, and the Pelicans' improved offensive output at home, this game has the potential to go over the total of 232.5. Both teams have struggled defensively. The Pacers' high pace should lead to plenty of scoring opportunities for both sides. If you're looking to bet the total, I would lean towards the over 232. I'm not agreeing with Jackson on this one. I don't agree with that, Mark. I think it's an under game, but we'll see. I might end up getting there. All right, let's move on. I think how many more games? This might be the last one that I want to talk about. Well, no, I think it's 2 more I wanted to talk about. Yeah, it's 2 more. So Thunder and Portland. Thunder and Portland. So let's get to my notes. So OKC, first leg of a back-to-back. They got the Clippers tomorrow at home. Potential look-ahead spot, but I'm not really sure the Thunder actually really look ahead at all. It feels like they just kind of play whoever's in front of them. And you got to love them for that, man. Young team that's just kind of plays the right way. Mark Daigneault got the guys, just really playing well. So then on the opposite side, you got a Portland team that's also first leg of a back-to-back. They got a game in Phoenix tomorrow. So both of these teams not only play today, but they both got to travel as well. This is the game where I kind of like the under. I'm not sure. I don't want to get there and lay points with the Thunder on the first leg of a back-to-back. The Portland Trailblazers have been feisty to say the least. They're hold on. I wanted to share with you guys one thing real quick. The Blazers are 3-2 against the number so far this season. They're covering by an average of 3 points so far. They did just get an outright win against the Clippers. They lost to the Kings, and I want to say they covered at some books there. They lost to the Kings, but it was like a really good defensive game. Their games are typically going under the total as well. Beat the Pelicans outright as a dog as well. But I'm not sure why we don't play under here. As I mentioned with the Thunder, their games are 3-1 to the under so far this season. They haven't given up more than 104 points. The Hawks scored 104 points, and that was when they were on the second leg of a back-to-back with travel. Outside of that, every single team has scored 93 did the Spurs, 95 did the Bulls, and 87 did the Denver Nuggets at home in Denver. This kind of feels like a game. The total has dropped. It was at 222.5. This is another game where I kind of see under, especially with 2 teams playing on the first leg of a back-to-back within the first 10 games. I talked about that trend earlier this season when we took the who was it? I think it was the Toronto it was the Philadelphia 7. It was the Detroit Pistons and another team. I can't remember who it was, but I did a mini breakdown for that game talking about first time in the first 10 games where you kind of want to take the under in that spot. So I do expect this game to I expect the total to continue to drop. And I do think that the total going under is the best play on the board. Just something to kind of keep your eye on is this Oklahoma City defense. Portland team total is 105.5. As I mentioned, the Oklahoma City Thunder have not given up 105 points yet this season. They've given up 104, and that was to the Hawks, a much faster paced team. And their offense also just hasn't looked like we thought it would look. They've only scored 120 points one time this season. They got to 114 against the Bulls, and the Bulls are also playing at the fastest pace. So I like under here, under 220 is still available in a few books. Let's see. Pistons money line, Detroit resident, Dougie Bone says. So I'm not going to touch on that game, and I'll get into a little bit of a breakdown of all the games that I didn't touch and kind of share notes with you guys, but it's because you got Karl Anthony Towns listed as questionable. That line opened at 7.5 yesterday. It's down to 6.5, and it's all because Karl Anthony Towns is listed as questionable with a wrist injury. Money coming in on Detroit in that spot. It was a spot that I was kind of wanting to back Detroit in again. I didn't back them the other day. Kind of felt like an idiot for leaving that money on the board. They absolutely smoked the Philadelphia 76ers. The Knicks are, they're a much better team with him on the floor. If he doesn't play, I think you got to look towards under as well. What's up, Jose? Joe says, got to head out, but he loves Minnesota today. Best of luck to everybody. We're going to talk about that game in a second. Kenneth says, Portland team total under 103.5. I like it. Definitely shop around. Make sure you get the best number. What's up, AOD? Meech likes SGA over 27.5 points. SGA, real quick on this. SGA and Wemby are shooting a ton of 3-pointers. A lot more than I thought. Jordan says he played Ja Morant triple-double and James Harden triple-double last night. Shout out to you. Maurice's Blazers team total under. OKC giving up 95 points per game and 36% shooting from the field. Love it. Prop says, love your look on the under with OKC Portland. Actually seems like Portland has really improved on defense this year with Klingon off the bench. Aiden starting. Scoot Henderson defense also improved. And I agree with that. They locked up the Clippers the other day. And we see the Phoenix Suns actually struggle to do that last night. Mitchell says, thoughts on the Cavs Magic under or even Magic team total under? I just think that I think the Cavs blow out the Magic tonight without Paolo. I know it's playoff revenge. Like I said, I'll talk about those games in a second. Portland first quarter been working early this year, and then under I agree with as well. Bob says, Chris, you think Chef can guard Ayton? Chet, I think Chet can guard Ayton. Yeah, I think he can. Chet's a hell of a defender. And this is all without Isaiah Hartenstein and Kendrick Williams. Like they're down a lot of players, but under, I do think that the total continues to drop. I do like the under in that spot. Let's move to the last game. Oh, I thought it was one more. Hold on. Oh, it is one more. Hold on. One more before we jump into a quick recap. Let's go to that Denver Nuggets game that Joe was just talking about. So Nuggets, Wolves. This line actually opened with the Nuggets laying 4.5. Money coming in on Denver in this spot to push it to 4 right now. Total open 217.5, and it's up 2 points to 219.5. So you got a Denver Nuggets team, first leg of a back-to-back. They got the Utah Jazz tomorrow. The Minnesota Timberwolves also first leg of a back-to-back. They got a game against the San Antonio Spurs. So both of these teams play against, the lesser Dens tomorrow. And you got, Western Conference rematch from last year with the Denver Nuggets probably trying to get some revenge in this spot. This was just something that I've been kind of paying attention to with the Denver Nuggets. Shout out to my guy, Jay Money. He always talks about noticing the patterns and just kind of following trends. And that's something that I kind of want to do in this game. I think the first thing that jumped out to me with this game, without even like handicapping the full game, is I know it's the first game where you got the Denver Nuggets back on the West Coast. They were just out on the East Coast. They had the game up in Toronto. Then they had to go to Brooklyn. And I feel like it was another game in there too. I just can't remember who they played. Maybe I'm tripping. But anyway, I think it's still third game of 4 nights for Denver as well. Minnesota coming off a loss as a home favorite. They've done really, really well in that spot. I want to say, I didn't write it down, but Chris Finch is, I think he's 7-0 straight up, 7-0 against the spread, coming off a loss as a favorite within the first 10 games of the season. Don't quote me on that, but I did look into it, forgot to write it down and put it in my notes yesterday. So the thing that I like in this game the most though is the first quarter. I like the first quarter for the Minnesota Timberwolves, especially with them coming off a loss. The one thing that's been really profitable is fading the Denver Nuggets in the first quarter. They're 0-4 against the Nuggets against the number in the first quarter. And I do think that we see a bounce back spot here, especially on the offensive end for the Minnesota Timberwolves. They turned the ball over a lot in that game, and that was one of the reasons why they really struggled. The Minnesota Timberwolves are 3-1 against the number in the first quarter so far this season. If you've been following any of the Nuggets game, they find themselves in a big hole early, and then they fight tooth and claw nail to try to get back into the game. So I do like the Nuggets. I do like the Minnesota Timberwolves early in this game. Like I said, 3-1 against the numbers so far. The Denver Nuggets 0-4. You can get Minnesota -1.5 in the first quarter. I'm not sure what happens after that, but I do think that they come out, especially coming off a loss to the Mavs. I think this Nuggets team will get their attention. Nuggets also coming off a couple really good wins. I think first quarter is a letdown spot for them again here. So I'll play. That will be an official play. I will be on Minnesota in this spot, minus the 1.5 in the first quarter. I think is available on a couple different sports books right now. So that'll be official play for me. I didn't play anything else, but that is the play that I like, that I know will be playing. I haven't sent it out to the members. I haven't played it yet either, but I will be on Minnesota today in the first quarter. Let's see. What are y'all saying in the comments about that? Terrence says, can anyone help me out? I joined recently, but how do I get access to the Discord? Terrence, you just shoot me a DM on Twitter at ChrisBeCappinn 2Ps 2 N's, or email me at ChrisBeCappinn 2Ps 2 N's, and I'll share the Discord link with you. Justin says, gonna move on Portland team total after the show. He likes the under. I agree there. Bob says, fading the Nuggets here. I've been losing 2 weeks on them. He says they look tired. They look tired in the beginning, then for some reason they always come back. Mitchell says it's a T-Wolves spot. Took a -4 here. Dougie Bone like Anthony Edwards points. What does Jackson say about Anthony Edwards points? I can look at that a little bit later. T-Wolves for 5-star. Nuggets coming off overtime game as well. The Nuggets coming off overtime game? Yeah, I think so. Back-to-back overtime games? They went to overtime with, back-to-back overtime games. I forgot about that. They went to overtime in Toronto. No rest. Another overtime game. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Give me the Timberwolves early in this spot. I will be on it. Dougie Bone likes Julius Randle points, rebounds, and assists. Mark likes that first quarter. And, Mitchell says it right here. Back-to-back overtime games. So, that's the only thing that I am super confident in for today. Just real quick, going through the other games that I didn't get a chance to touch on for the show. I talked about New York and Detroit. I think you got to wait on the cat news. Orlando, Cleveland opened at Cleveland -6.5 yesterday. That number has ballooned up. I think it's up to 8 now. Franz listed as questionable. Gogo Batadze listed as questionable. Paulo Banchero will be out for the 4 to 6 next weeks. You got Cleveland first leg of a back-to-back. They do got the Bucks tomorrow. Doesn't look like, who cares about that game? I'm not sure if they're looking at the Bucks like they're even competition at this point. And the one thing I'll say about that game is Orlando plus 7.1 in point scored per 100 possessions with Paulo on the floor. They're minus 2.1 without him. So I think that's a humongous drop off there. I'm not sure what the pace is going to look like in that game, which is why I didn't touch the total. But I think Cleveland should be able to score the basketball. Orlando isn't doing a great job of defending the three-point line this season. Cleveland hitting at a very high rate right now, and they're shooting a ton of threes, playing with a lot of pace under Kenny Atkinson. Just blew my Lakers out the other day. I think they can keep it going today. So Orlando minus the 7.5, I think is the right side in that game. Really wanted to get there with Sacramento. It's a bigger number now. It opened 5.5. I think it's up to 6.5 now. Well, Atlanta has a humongous list of players that are going to be out. No Dyson Daniels, no DeAndre Hunter. Back-to-back losses to the Wizards. Sacramento should be able to smoke this team. Sacramento also coming off 2 days rest. Back-to-back the wins, albeit, against the Portland Trail Blazers and the Utah Jazz. Also 2 straight unders. I think the under happens in that game as well. That's the game where I do like under. The total continues to go up. It opened 237.5, is up to 239.5. I think Sacramento can slow down Atlanta. I think Atlanta don't really want to rely on their defense, but Sacramento's offense has been playing a little bit slower. Last year, they were an under team on the road as well, especially when they were favorites. 4th and 6th nights for Atlanta, 5th and 8th nights. I think the Atlanta Hawks can kind of run out of gas, even though they're 5-0 to the over, and they've given up their opponent has gone up and over their team total in every single game. I just think Sacramento's defense has been a little bit better. I think they can limit Atlanta's offense. So Kings against the number and Atlanta team total under in that game. Not touching the Lakers and Toronto game. I did see quickly Scotty Barnes will continue to be out. Quickly, I think is listed as doubtful. No Kelly Olynyk. Lakers got embarrassed against Cleveland. Lakers should smoke Toronto early. So first quarter, first half, I think would be the best spot in that game. Toronto's been not shooting the three-point ball well. So that's something I'm going to look a little bit deeper into. Toronto really struggles to shoot the three. The Lakers defense just struggles to guard the three, as you saw in the Cleveland game. So if Toronto's thinking that they're going to be able to score in the paint, I don't agree with that. Anthony Davis should be able to erase some shots. Jackson Hayes, like the Lakers' interior defense has been a little bit better than their three-point defense. And the way that Toronto's been struggling from three, it would only be Lakers. I'm not sure if I'll lay the full point spread with them, but I think first half would probably be the best bet in that game. Chicago, Brooklyn not touching it just because Zach LaVine injury. Brooklyn's been feisty, I will say that, but I can't get a gauge on Chicago right now. And that's it. That's all the other games. So just kind of letting you guys know what I'm thinking about those games. Best of luck to you guys. Appreciate everybody in the comment section as always. Quick recap. Charlotte team total under 111.5. Talked about why I like that against Boston today. Should be a bounce back defensively for Boston. Indiana, New Orleans under 232.5. Something I'm going to take a little bit deeper look into after the game. But I do like Minnesota first quarter. I'm probably going to play that under as well, just so you guys know. I think New Orleans offense continues to struggle, and if anything, they're gonna have to slow the pace down and keep that game close with the Indiana Pacers coming to town. Minnesota first quarter, Denver 0-4 against the number in the first quarter. Minnesota coming off the loss against the Dallas Mavericks should be motivated in that spot. 3-1 against the spread so far in the first quarter. So those are the top looks for myself. Resources that I use to handicap the game. Moneyballer makes it so easy to see who's on the second leg of a back-to-back, who's in the fifth game in 7 nights, who has the rest advantage, who is cashing their team totals over, who's the best team against the spread in the first quarter, first half. So use 50% off, use the 50% off promo code ChrisBeCappinn, and start betting a little bit more efficiently. Jackson, if you guys are interested, the promo code for that is right there. ChrisBeCappinn, 2 P's, 2 N's, still 50% off over there. And OddsJam, as always, 20% off using CBC for your promo code there. I use it for the Sportsbook screen page, but it's a lot of great things that OddsJam offers as well. I wouldn't talk about it if it wasn't helping me win money, man. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. If you're still watching, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Best of luck on all your action. I'll be back at 4 o'clock with my guy Kyle on his channel. And let's cash some money and start November off right, man. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.